Hello everyone and welcome to this month's episode of What's for Dinner. Today I'm going to be making a very easy recipe. In fact, it's called Easy Glazed Pork Chops. This is probably one of the most simple recipes that I've ever found and will probably have on this channel. It's very, very easy to make. All you need are 4 thick cut pork chops and a whole bunch of spices. So before I do anything with the pork chops, I'm going to set them off to the side while we get our spice mixture ready. So all the measurements that I need for this particular spice mixture are a ½ teaspoon. And it's 3 main spices and then some salt and pepper. So what we're first going to do is take a ½ teaspoon of paprika. Can I take, oh I can't take this off, okay. ½ teaspoon of paprika, ½ teaspoon of paprika, and then a ½ teaspoon of cayenne pepper. There we go, ½ teaspoon of that. Then a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder. Good. All right, that's good. All right, and then about a ½ teaspoon of salt and pepper. This is pepper. I wonder if I can measure this. I realize that some is already going in as I'm putting it into the teaspoon. And then salt. Actually, wait, I have a container of salt that I can measure from. Special salt. There we go. Whisk, and we're going to whisk this together. And we now have our spice mixture. Alright, let me put these away and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put away the additional spices and now I've continued to mix this like so. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pretty much put the pork chops into this little mixture here. And then I'm going to put them on the stove. We're going to sear it for a little bit. Then we're going to add some brown sugar. So let's do this first. So, first pork chop into the mixture. Get it as coated as possible. Then over here, stove. Do that with the last 3. It says this should work with 4. Hopefully it does. There's not a lot left. Slim pickings here at the end. Goodness. Like nothing left. I think I'm going to recommend to do a full teaspoon of all of the seasonings. Goodness, there's like nothing left for this one. Wow. That's not cool. Alright, well, they gradually get less and less seasoned. If you end up making this yourself, use a full teaspoon of each of those seasonings. Nowhere near enough. So pretty much we're going to let these cook here on the stove for a little bit, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of brown sugar. I might have said a teaspoon earlier. It's actually a tablespoon. You want to do it over medium-high heat. Once I finish up on the stove and I add the brown sugar and let that soak in, we're going to bake them at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. The idea is to do it in the same pan, but since I do not have a pan that's oven safe, I'm just going to transfer it to a different pan. You also want to make sure you don't add the brown sugar too early. So I'm making sure that I cook these fairly thorough before I do so. So I'm going to now turn them over once more and I'm going to add the brown sugar. 1 tablespoon for each pork chop. So I have it here. And then as that melts, turn them over so that each side gets some brown sugar on it. I'm going to get my other pan ready right here. Set this off to the side, put the rest of my brown sugar away. And then finally, just to make sure that they're cooked all the way through, we're going to bake them for 15 minutes at 350 degrees. I'm going to grease this pan, turn the heat off. Bring this over here. Transfer these into here. Oven. In 15 minutes, 350. We'll be back. Alright, so it's been about 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take these out. Ooh, they look good. Oh, does that look good? That looks delicious. Now the recipe also says to make some vegetables with this, so I made some mixed vegetables in a steam bag in the microwave. So I'm going to get myself all set, come back, and we'll enjoy it on camera in a moment. One of the things that I had to make sure to do as I prepare this was to take some of the drippings from the pan here to make sure I poured it over top of the pork. I've done that several times. Try the pork first. All right. Cheers. Delicious. Wow. Vegetables are good too. Oh, that is so good. I don't even think this is, I think this is the heavily seasoned one. I have a feeling this might be a little, this one right here is the one that got all the seasoning. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of What's for Dinner. Again, really simple recipe, which is kind of what I'm trying to take this particular segment of mine toward. Really simple recipes that do not take a lot of time or are very difficult to make. So on that note, I'm going to continue enjoying my dinner. I will see all of you next time on What's for Dinner. Take care, God bless, and happy Halloween, I guess. See ya.